The Roman Empire. It's hailed for its civilization, innovations, and incredible impact on the world. But behind its glory, wealth, and culture, lies a darker story, a side few speak of. Here are 12 shocking atrocities that reveal the brutal reality of the Roman Empire. 1. The crucifixion of Spartacus' army. In 71 BCE, after Spartacus led a massive slave revolt, Rome retaliated with severe vengeance. Following the final defeat of Spartacus, about 6,000 captured rebels were crucified along the Appian Way, the road leading to Rome. The crucified bodies lined the road for 120 miles, serving as a brutal warning to any who dared challenge the empire. 2. The destruction of Carthage. The Third Punic War marked the end of Carthage, Rome's rival in North Africa. In 146 BCE, Roman forces obliterated the city, killing or enslaving its population of over 100,000. The Roman general Scipio Aemilianus ordered the city burned to the ground, and to ensure Carthage would never rise again, Roman soldiers spread salt on the farmland so nothing would grow. This act decimated a civilization and its culture in the name of imperial dominance. 3. The oppression of gladiators. Gladiatorial combat was one of Rome's most brutal forms of entertainment. Enslaved men were forced into an arena, fighting each other, wild animals, and even condemned criminals to the death for the amusement of the crowd. These events, often attended by tens of thousands, showcased the empire's indifference to the suffering of slaves, who were stripped of their dignity and forced to fight to survive. 4. The slaughter of Boudicca's people. In 60 CE, Boudica, the warrior queen of the Iceni tribe, led a rebellion against Rome's oppressive rule in Britain. In response, Roman forces slaughtered tens of thousands of her people. It's estimated that nearly 80,000 Britons were killed in the campaign to crush the rebellion. This massacre wasn't just meant to defeat Boudica, it was a calculated strategy to show Rome's ruthless power over conquered people. 5. The Siege of Jerusalem. In 70 CE, Roman forces under Titus besieged Jerusalem. After a long and bloody siege, the city fell, and the Romans showed no mercy. The temple, the most sacred site for the Jewish people, was burned and destroyed. Thousands were slaughtered, and those who survived were sold into slavery. The destruction of Jerusalem was a devastating blow to the Jewish people, and led to centuries of diaspora. 6. Human sacrifices in the arena. The Colosseum and other arenas hosted spectacles beyond gladiator fights. Some were public executions, where prisoners were killed in gruesome displays for entertainment. One infamous practice was to dress prisoners in costumes representing mythical villains, only for them to be mauled by animals or burned alive. These executions were as much about instilling fear as they were about satisfying Rome's bloodlust. 7. The massacre of the Helvetii tribe. When Julius Caesar launched his campaign in Gaul, the Helvetii, a Gallic tribe, were among his first victims. In 58 BCE, Caesar claimed they posed a threat to Roman territory and attacked them. An estimated 60,000 Helvetii men, women, and children were slaughtered. Caesar's ruthless campaign set the tone for the brutal conquest of Gaul that would follow, where hundreds of thousands would die under Roman swords. 8. The eradication of Dacia. Trajan's conquest of Dacia, modern-day Romania, was one of the empire's bloodiest campaigns. In 2 wars, Roman legions wiped out tens of thousands of Dacians. Entire towns were razed, and the Dacian king, Decebalus, was forced to commit suicide. The surviving Dacians were enslaved, their lands pillaged, and the empire plundered Dacia's gold mines to finance Rome's ambitions. This destruction eliminated a unique culture, leaving only remnants behind. 9. The persecution of early Christians. For years, the Roman Empire viewed Christianity as a dangerous cult. Emperor Nero began one of the first brutal persecutions, blaming Christians for the Great Fire of Rome. In 64 CE, Christians were tortured, crucified, burned alive, and fed to wild animals. This treatment persisted under multiple emperors, who saw Christianity as a threat to traditional Roman gods and their own authority. 10. The sack of Corinth. The Roman Republic had little tolerance for defiance, and Corinth learned this in 146 BCE. When Corinth rebelled against Roman rule, the Republic responded with overwhelming force. Roman forces slaughtered the male population, enslaved the women and children, and razed the city. Corinth, once a thriving center of Greek culture and commerce, was left in ruins as a testament to Rome's unyielding power. 11. The expulsion of the Jews from Rome. In 19 CE, Emperor Tiberius ordered the expulsion of all Jews from Rome. They were accused of being a disruptive force in the city. Those who remained and practiced their faith faced severe punishment. Later, Emperor Claudius expelled the Jews again in 49 CE. These expulsions marked a long history of Roman persecution and oppression of Jewish communities across the empire. 12. The repression of the Druids. The Druids, The priestly class of the Celtic people were targeted by Rome for their influence and power within Celtic society. Under Emperor Claudius, the Roman military was ordered to destroy Druidic culture and religious sites, especially on the island of Anglesey, considered the heart of Druidic practices. This campaign aimed not only to eliminate religious resistance, but also to undermine the spiritual foundation of the Celtic tribes, ensuring Rome's dominance over their culture. The Roman Empire was built on conquest, but its civilization came at a steep cost. Its grand achievements, vast architecture, and political influence have overshadowed the brutal tactics that helped it endure. These 12 atrocities are reminders of the dark side of Roman history, a reminder that even the most celebrated empires often rise on the backs of those they oppress.